I be around you and Dana a lot, and I see how you guys operate. I see how well your chemistry is. I actually want to touch on how does a man actually apologize to his wife or his woman when he does something wrong or when she does something wrong? How do you actually sit down and have that conversation to open up to non toxic behavior to actually end out with a perfect result?
Yo, I think that's a great question, because I think for a lot of us men, you know, that apology section that's a real sensitive space to be. When when you got to
Sure.
apologize for being wrong. I'm gonna be honest. I'm when Dana come to me sideways, sometimes I definitely be like, nah, that ain't it. But sometimes I got to bring myself down. So I think you had a great question. How do you apologize to your girl or to your wife when you in the wrong as men? Especially when we got that ego built up. You feel me? We got that macho vibe, that alpha vibe, and we like, yo, I ain't wrong. I want to be right here. This ain't this that's not it. You know, I think rule number one that I had to learn, and I'm gonna bring y'all through an entire story of real scenario. I remember one day, and I told this story before. Me and Dana was driving up to New York City, and Van was actually sitting in the back seat. We driving up to New York, 2 hour drive. Me and Dana start getting into it because, of course, me and her are both strong minded individuals. So obviously, we are very opinionated. I think I said something that she didn't like, and I think it was pretty rude. I think it was a bit rude, and I think what did I say to her? I think she had asked me a question about something when it came to entrepreneurship, but I was real, I was real rude. I was real condescending, and I got a tendency of doing that sometimes. And basically, when I came at her the wrong way, she pretty much started raising her voice and started getting real loud with me. You feel me? So, of course, I'm a real calm dude. Everybody that knows me, I'm an introvert. She's an extrovert. So she voices very loud. Me, I'm a thinker. So I sit back and I just survey the situation and figure out how to come to a common ground. So she started raising her voice and getting loud. So of course, for me, since I'm in a closed environment, that just didn't make me feel good. You know what I'm saying? So I'm getting frustrated. And of course, the first thing I say to her is, yo, Dana, lower your tone. Like I'm not screaming at you right now. So we don't gotta do this. Lower your tone. We're gonna be cool. We're gonna be able to find a common solution here. That made her even more rowdy. So I'm like, all right. So I see where this situation going. And I think she kept being loud, and I ended up cursing at her. I ain't gonna hold you. Because I got to a certain point to where I'm just like, all right, I see that this situation ain't really going to turn left. So I gave her the same energy that she gave me. One of the promises that I made to my wife was that I would never curse at her. I just don't feel the need to do so. Now, I understand that sometimes my wife has a bit of an issue with her voice and her tone, right? But me, I always said to her, I'm never going to give you that same type of energy, because the way that men can curse at a woman and raise his voice is totally different when a woman is giving it to you. Like our voices are a lot more deep. We're a lot stronger. We have more testosterone. It comes off way different. That's why when you look at it, when a man is screaming at a woman, it just don't look the same. So I always made a promise to I would never do that. Like, I ain't gonna disrespect you in that manner. But I ended up going against what I promised, and I cursed at her because she was pissing me off. It was a 2 hour drive, and she just kept going, pulling my buttons. So then from there, she started crying and everything. That's what at that point I felt bad, and that's when she just was like, I just don't think the way that you spoke to me, I don't think the way that you spoke to me was correct, and I don't even think that this conversation that you were really open to understanding me. Now, whether I was right or wrong in the situation, because she started and got me rolling. Again, I made a promise that I was never going to curse at her in that manner like that, and I was never going to raise my voice and get to that level. It was ways to get around it, So I'm driving, and of course I'm going back and forth with her, like, nah, but you raised your voice and all that. I told you, like, that's not it. I told you to lower your voice. You ain't want to do that, so I'm not trying to talk to you no more. We good. I ain't want to apologize. So, of course, the whole time the ride is silent. Ride silent the whole time. Van in the back seat acting like he's asleep. You feel me? But the whole time, I think he was listening the whole time, and he like, yo, these Negroes is crazy, right?
This is
So
like our first trip. This is our
facts,
first
facts,
trip.
facts. This is our first trip right over to New York, and this is your first time you coming with us, and that whole scenario happened. So as we driving on the way back home, one of the things that like I promised to my wife too was that yo, I don't want to go to sleep like not telling you how I feel about a scenario. I don't want us to go to sleep like angry at each other. You know, I would rather put my ego to the side than to go to sleep knowing that you mad and upset and that you not at peace. Like I can't never have my wife not at peace with me or a certain scenario. I just can't do it. You feel me? Like I can deal with a level of frustration, but to see my woman upset, that just upsets me. You know, so we driving on the way back home. It's a 2-hour drive, and I just looked at it and I said, regardless of what the scenario is, right now I just want to talk about it. Right. So rule number one for all my fellas that's trying to figure out how to apologize to your woman, first and foremost, always make sure that you apologize when y'all are in a calm environment. Never in a hostile environment, because you're not going to get the right reaction. Everything is about logic, right? I use logic. Men are very good with logic. I would say women are more so in that are very good from an emotional standpoint. They have more of an emotional connection. So I focus on logic. So logically, I said, let me wait until to everything calms down. Once it all calmed down and we was on our way back home, we did what we had to do. I said, yo, you know what? I'm ready to talk about it right now. I'm calm. We cool. Let's go ahead and talk. She's like, all right, fine. So step number one, make sure that you're in a calm environment. Step number two, when it comes down to being ready to apologize, don't go into the scenario having something to prove. You can never get down to an apology when you still got something to prove. So I say, you know what? When I go into this situation, as we driving back home, I'm not going to act like I got something to prove. I'm not going to blame her for raising her voice. I'm not going to do none of that. I'm going to clearly understand what she has to say right now. Right? So have an open ear. Bro, have an open ear. Listen to what she's saying. And then when it's your time, you go ahead and speak. And one of the things that I do really well, I set the pace of the conversation. So when we going into it, I say, hey, you know what? We're in a calm environment. I'm ready to talk right now. So look, here's what we do. I'll give you your opportunity to talk, and I'm not going to cut you off. Now, after your opportunity to talk and you say everything that you got to say, I'm going to clearly listen to you. I'm not going to be just listening to respond. I'm going to actually be like truly listening, right? And once you're done talking, let me know, and then I'll go ahead and speak and give my piece, but we're not going to cut each other off here, because if we cut each other off, we're not having a conversation. I don't want to have a conversation like that, because I don't want to get back to a heightened place. So then once she agrees, now we on one accord right now. You agree that we're going to talk and listen to each other. And if one of us does otherwise, that means you're obviously not open for growth. You feel me? So we go ahead and do that. She go ahead and give her piece. And then I'm listening the whole time. I'm listening to understand. I see where I'm at, where I'm wrong. And then from there, I go ahead and give my piece of how I feel about it. Now remember, when it's your time to respond, bro, you cannot respond in ego. You can't respond with something to prove. You can't respond with, oh, but I'm the man here, or I'm this, I'm right. You can't respond that way. Because obviously y'all had an argument and back and forth because somebody felt wrong about something. Y'all both obviously feel wrong. Y'all got to see each other's points. And one of the things I've learned just from listening to a lot of older brothers that are in marriages is that, yo, you also got to go into this argument when you're apologizing to your wife and understanding that y'all not on different teams here. Y'all not on opposite ends. Y'all not enemies. Y'all friendly fire. Y'all together. You feel me? So anything, whatever that problem is, y'all supposed to face the problem together. Y'all not supposed to fight with the problem. You're not supposed to do that. So everything that I'm going to do when it comes down to me having this apology is to always bring it back to us being together and fighting this problem. That's how I'm bringing my logic to it when dealing with my wife. Yo, how can I get her to be on this side so we can fight this together? Right? So I'm going to have to give up something during this apology, right, to get us to the common goal. And I don't see the thing is with me, and I want all the brothers to understand this, I don't care about being right or wrong. In that moment, of course, I'm gonna be pissed. But later on, when I think about it, I don't care about being right or wrong. I care about making sure that our marriage or our relationship is healthy. I care about making sure that we working together on one accord. I care about making sure that like we having a good time, that we both are happy. You know, not just my wife being happy, me being happy too. I'm making sure we both is at peace. You know, so we can continue to grow. So ultimately, when making an apology, you really got to take all those things into account, bro. Like take all those things into account. And when it's time, you know, like just put everything that you was thinking about to the side and just like, yo, really listen and have a clear game plan. I always have a clear game plan when it comes time to me to go through this apology stage with my wife. I have a clear game plan of what's the outcome of where I want to go with this, right? What's the outcome? You know, what are the possible scenarios? And I'm coming in to listen. And when you do that, I think that it creates a great apology. You know, I don't think an apology is just kissing somebody's butt, like, oh, I apologize, I'm so sorry. I'm not saying that's that. An apology is y'all coming to a common ground, you know, coming to a common ground and kind of and going from there. But, you know, I think a lot of brothers, you know, just sometimes like side with the ego, and it's easy to side with ego. It's easy to side with that thing inside of you that's saying, "Nah, I'm about to take over this situation, and it's going to be my way or the highway." That's not y'all playing on different sides. Play on one team, and y'all always going to be good. That's the way I look at an apology.
Yeah, one thing he really did say about it that kind of like triggered something off in my head was a conversation I one time had with my daughter where me and my ex partner had gotten to a discussion. I just call it a discussion, and you know, like I said, she kind of got loud and stuff like that, and my daughter was like, I can tell when you guys aren't happy because she's always yelling, and to me, it set something off in my head. That's never how I would want my daughter to see a discussion or argument, or even another person that's yelling. So I actually, after I thought about it, I told her, it's like, she's not yelling. She's very passionate about what she's saying. So there's a big difference, because in that situation, if you're thinking someone's yelling at you, you're automatically going to feel attacked. Compared to when someone's passionately speaking, you know, where they get riled up, they really feel what they're saying. But at the same time, if the goal is common, like you guys are actually going back and forth out of love, and you know what the result's going to be, then I think you guys can come to a great conclusion.
And I think you got to and just to touch on this again, you got to remember, as men, our responsibility is to lead. It's not to follow. So I gotta always take that into account when I'm having an argument with my wife or a disagreement. Am I following the energy that she's giving me, or am I trying to lead the energy into us finding a solution? Right? Am I leading it into a solution? So like, okay, my wife is like I said, you gotta know your lady, you gotta know your girl, your wife. I know my wife speaks very passionately to everybody. That's just how she is. I know that she raises her voice when she talks. So that you could get offended by that. So by me knowing my wife, I got to know how to lead the situation, because I know that it could go left. Because if I give her the same energy, now I'm going to try to speak louder than her, and it ain't going to be good. Now she going to feel attacked. Now I'm speaking really loud. I'm speaking very deep. And she like, oh, whoa, why you talking to me like that? It's not the same. So we got to remember as men, as brothers, yo, we got to know how to lead the situation. If you in an argument with your girl, if y'all fighting back and forth for dominance, yo, sit back, figure out how to re-strategize yourself. And even if you got to come back later on in the day, figure out how to re-strategize yourself and come back at it a different way, to where y'all both can get on the same team. The goal should be, how can I get my wife or my girl on the same team as me? What can I do? What can I say? Because at the end of the day, we got to work together in order to get to this common goal. It's not a me against her. It's not about the dominance. It's not about who's right or wrong. It's about how can I get my wife to be on the same team as me, so we can fight this common goal, so then we can be over it. Because that is the ultimate solution here. That's the ultimate solution. How can we compromise with each other? What can we do? You know, so that's always my tip for every Just in my marriage and any other brother that's in a relationship with a lady, yo, lead the conversation, right? Lead it to the solution. Or y'all just gonna keep talking about the problem all day and y'all just gonna end up frustrated. And the last thing that I wanna be is frustrated all day. And the last thing I definitely wanna be, like I said before, is seeing my wife or my lady frustrated and she got a frown. That just make me upset. I wanna see her happy. I wanna see her cool because that's gonna make me cool too. So I wanna get down the solution as quickly as possible.
And so this whole discussion that I'm listening to, the way you break it down, is coming from a point of communication when it comes to your woman. Communication is basically probably like, I want to give a percentage, but communication is a large part of any partnership. You know what I mean? If you can't communicate, it's basically dead from there.
Facts.
So how can a man communicate when he's in a point of like where he's at a point of nervousness or he's at a point of shame, something where he know he did wrong, but yet it's hard to admit. Just even down to the littlest thing, like, hey, I lost my job. There's a sense of shame that comes over men because of that ego, because of that manhood, because they know what position they're supposed to play in the household. Is there any way or any advice you can actually give a man when they actually have to have that conversation with his woman, knowing, but then at the same time, you got to remember that it depends what kind of woman they have too. Some women expect men to do that and some women support them. So how would you actually go about a conversation when it comes to, speaking from a point of shame?
Well, I'm going to tell you this. When it comes to men and us communicating with our woman when we're wrong about something, my rule of thumb is to always tell the full truth and nothing but the truth. Always. Because I got to get that off my chest right away. Now, here's the thing, though. Watch this. If a woman tries to exploit my truth to hurt my manhood, she's not a woman that I'm supposed to be with to begin with. If I'm telling her I'm gonna say that one more time. If a woman tries to exploit my truth to damage my manhood, she's not a woman that I should be with to begin with. Because there's no woman that's in your life that's down for you, that's going to try to use your vulnerability and you apologizing or something happening to you to try to say that, yo, you're not enough of a man. That ain't it. Because if she down for you all the way, like she said she would be, right? So, prime example, if I lose my job, so I can't, right? I'm supporting the family for not supporting like part of supporting the family. I'm bringing money into the household, make sure family is straight. I lose my job, something happened, and next thing you know, I got to come home and I tell my wife the truth of I lost my job. Look, situation about to get real sticky. Like it's not right now. I got to try to figure something else out. And she tries to use that to justify that I'm a bum or that I can't take care of the family, or I can't do this. She not it, bro. That's not it. If she's not helping to find a solution to be able to fix it, to say, yo, you know what? All right, baby, how we find another way to be able to make sure do you need me to print out some resumes? And then you take them to everywhere, go get them to every manager that you can. You need me to help you fill out some applications. Maybe if she not in a state of helping, then she's not your helpmate. Now, don't get me wrong. There's certain scenarios here where if you did your girl dirty and you cheated on her, and you got to come up and tell the truth about you cheating on her. Hey, listen, now at the end of the day, you destroyed your own manhood as a man, because manhood is also about honesty and integrity. It's also about respect and honor. So my thing is, if you do anything as a man that's outside of honor, respect, and integrity and loyalty, then you damage your own manhood. So you gave her the door to be able to damage it too. But as long as you stay sturdy in what you doing and you staying thorough and you being honest with her and telling her the truth and everything is within honor and integrity and loyalty, and she uses any of those vulnerabilities to try to attack you, that ain't it. Like I be seeing stuff on social media where like a lot of dudes be like, yo, man, like I'm afraid of being emotional with my girl because when I'm emotional, she basically look at me like I'm weak. And when she look at me like I'm weak, she trying to run over me. And I posted something too the other day where like, yo, any woman that tries to exploit your like, yo, as let me tell you something. As men, we are human beings. We are naturally emotional creatures. So it's scientifically impossible for you not to have emotion. Even a man that's dealing with the darkest stuff, he's dealing with some level of emotions. So if you being emotional to a woman, being vulnerable to her, and she uses that to try to step on you, to try to exploit you, to try to call you weak, when that's the naturalness of any human being, what I said was she not a woman of God. That ain't somebody you should be aligning yourself with, because no woman nor a woman of God would do something like that anyway, to be honest. They wouldn't. Right? So at the end of the day, man, I always lead with truth. And I'm cool with my truth. I accept my truth. I embrace my truth. And any woman that's with me, my wife, she got to embrace that truth. And when she embraces that truth, as long as within honor and integrity and making sure that my family's straight and I'm not putting them in the line of fire, then I expect that my helpmate is to help me to continue to be able to elevate, to be able to fix whatever issues that when I bring the truth to her, that like, yo, look, situations is jammed up right now. My helpmate is supposed to be like, yo, look, I'm down. What we doing? I reciprocate the same for her, right? But I'm not dealing with no woman I'm not dealing with it, and I don't respect it. And I'm telling all my bros now, don't deal with no woman that's trying to exploit your emotions or exploit your truth to try to damage your manhood to make you feel bad. That ain't we not doing that. Not in 2020. And if a woman is doing that, that ain't for you, bro. Walk away. Find another woman that does indeed embrace it, and she gonna rock with you. You feel me? She rocking with your growth. Because I'm gonna tell you something too. And to end this thing out. We all come as damaged goods. It ain't one person in this world that's born perfect. It ain't one person in this world that's born without issues. Especially not for men. We got a lot of issues going on, especially for many of us that may not have had fathers coming up. You feel me? Got a lot of issues that we dealing with. Some that we haven't even uncovered yet. That we haven't even really looked at and diagnosed. Like, yo, damn, I didn't even know I was dealing with that. So with that said, we all damaged goods. And any adult that's mature would understand that we all gonna come with our own problems. As long as I'm in the stage of telling you the truth and then wanting to grow beyond those problems, then if you said you're gonna rock with me, you're supposed to rock with me. If you're gonna use that against me, then we can't bang with each other. That's not the wave. You feel me? So that's my place on it, man. I ain't never dealing with nobody that's going to try to exploit my truth to try to damage my manhood. That ain't it. If we rocking together, we rocking together.
This kind of reminds me of a conversation that we had over the summertime where we actually were discussing a man actually having a family plan and breaking down what kind of woman actually he actually did inspire to be like, or to deal with. Um, Basically, writing down your terms and conditions for somebody. I actually want to touch on that real quick because we haven't talked about it in a while. When a man actually wants to find a certain type of woman, or what he does want, actually, or what he actually needs, how important it actually is to take some time, sit down, and write down those terms and conditions that you have for yourself in order to look for a lifelong partner.
Yo, as a man, I think all of us got us, like, I'm married, but I'm speaking for other men, my single brothers that have not found their co-founder yet. It's very important to build your co-founder before you find her.
Ooh, that's
It's
good.
very important to build your co-founder before you find her. I'm gonna give you a business example first, and I'm gonna bring it back to the relationship side of things, right? So in business, right? I'm a marketer by heart. I know how to market online. I know how to market in person. And one of the things that I know for certain is that when you're in the marketing world, you have to build your customer. So what do I mean by that? Like if I'm selling, for example, I'm selling an entrepreneur course, right? I'm selling an entrepreneur course on the basics of how to start an e-commerce store. Well, from there, I got to build my customer. Who's this ideal person that I'm looking for that's going to buy this entrepreneur course, right? And I got to start thinking about it. Okay, what's this person that I'm looking for? What's their price range of how much money they're going to spend? Okay, now that I know their price range, where do they live? Right? Now that I know where they live, where do they go? Now that I know where they go, what do they wear? Now that I know what they wear, what are they interested in? What are some of the pages that they follow on social media? What is the personality of this person right here? Oh, they're a new entrepreneur. They're somebody that's aspiring. Okay. And I'm checking off all of these things to really build my potential customer because watch this, after I'm done building my potential customer, I'm now going to advertise to those specific people. I know who I'm targeting, right? Most reason why most entrepreneurs are not getting sales is because they just targeting the wrong people. So they spending mad money, not getting the return. So I'm about to tell you where I'm going with this. Let's flip it back to your co-founder, right? For all my brothers. For many times, we get caught in this rat race where we spending so much money on dates, on movies, and flossing on chicks and doing all these different things, and we not seeing a return. And it's because we targeting the wrong women. We're targeting the woman that was never meant to be our co-founder to begin with. So just like that person that's an entrepreneur that's marketing to the wrong people and spending all of this money frivolously and not seeing a return, the same thing can happen to you when you're looking for your co-founder, but you have not targeted her because you have not built her. Right? So my idea is let's look at it like I'm a marketer now, because as a man, you are marketing yourself to the woman that you want to have, the woman of your dreams, your co-founder, your marketing. So you want to sit back and you want to say, okay, as a man, look, here's what I got right now. Here's where I see myself. And it starts with you knowing where do you see yourself going and where do you see your future, right? Where do I see myself? Where do I see my future? What's my skill? What's my product that I got? And what am I building upon right now? What do I see my life as? How many kids do I want to have? Do I want to start a business? Am I going into corporate America? Do I drink? Do I not drink? Do I smoke? Do I not smoke? Do I party or do I not party? Do I want to have nice things or am I more of a simplistic type dude? Am I an introvert or an extrovert? Am I looking for an extrovert? Like you got to build yourself right first. You got to know all your characteristics. You got to know your product. That's you, bro. Know your product. And then from there, now you have the ability of saying, okay, what type of woman would buy this product? What type of woman would buy me? What type of woman would complement what I have? What type of woman, aka helpmate, can help me, assist me in building our family together? Now it's going to make it easier for me to say, okay, I'm looking for a woman that got this. I'm looking for a woman that got that. She need to have this type of job. Yeah, I don't want a woman that smoke and drink because I don't smoke and drink. So I don't want that. I definitely want a woman with a nice head on her shoulders, one that's ambitious, that's trying to do this. Okay, I want this amount of kids, so I got to have a woman that, of course, want kids. Da, da, da. Boom, boom. Now you putting all the ingredients together. And now that I got it all, now that I got all the ingredients together, now okay, all right. Well, now that I have all that together, before I start targeting, before I start AKA spending money on dates, on all these different, dates and things, the courting phase, before going through that courting phase, I can already sort out the women that I never was intending to target to begin with. And it make it easy these days. I go straight to her social media page and look, oh no, she don't got none of the characteristics that I'm looking for. Oh nah, she don't got that characteristic. Oh, you know what? she looks like the type that I'm trying to target. You know what? Boom. How you doing, sweetheart? Look, you feel me? You feel me? But you realize, you see what I'm doing? I reversed engineered it. Instead of me having to spend money and go into this huge ocean to try to find something, I'm specifically targeting to find the right woman that's for me. And maybe I'm dating, I'm dating a little bit, and I met a couple women that's highly targeted toward what I'm looking for, and I just find the right one that's for me. But you realized it made it a way easier process as opposed to me having to waste so much time and energy out there trying to figure it out. So I'm just looking at it as if I was an entrepreneur, and I'm relating that back to men, targeting, who are you targeting, bro? Who are you targeting? Do you even know what you're looking for? Do you even know what you're looking for? But again, you can't know what you're looking for unless you know yourself, and unless you know what are all the qualities that you have, and then to find somebody that can complement those qualities. Right? Because it's kind of hard to, and again, it works. Don't get me wrong. I'm not saying that things like that don't work, but it's hard to have somebody that smoke and drink, but I don't smoke and drink. That's kind of hard. I'm not gonna lie. It can work because I'm sure it's couples that do it, but to me, that's kind of hard because we not on the same page. You feel me? Your values is different than mine. So we constantly gonna be going back and forth about things. And most likely, if I don't smoke and drink, that means that I work out and I want to make sure my body right. And if you smoke and drink, you might not do the same thing. So it's like we living on different planets, but we're trying to coexist inside of the same crib. Sometimes it just don't work that way. I don't need somebody that I'm coexisting with. I need somebody that I can actually that I'm equally yoked with. We're not coexisting. We're actually building the planet together. You feel me? Like together. And that's what I say. Build your co-founder, bro. And then it'll make the process way easier for you.
And that as you was as you were saying that, I've noticed too. Well, if everybody else noticed, you didn't say anything about the appearance. You didn't say what she looked like, light skin, dark skin, tall, short. You didn't say anything about their appearance. You literally just said characteristics or traits that the woman should have as you're building her. And that's what I was also thinking about. I was like, yo, this would be a nice exercise to do with your homeboys. You know what I mean? Because the homeboys you grow with, they always they know what kind of chick that you always dealt with, or what kind of chick that you need, because they know what kind of man that you is.
Facts.
At the end of the day, because they seen all different sides of you. You know what I mean? You fought most of your battles with your boys growing up, which leads me to a point of how to do these exercises with other men. Why aren't men or brothers like us talking about this daily? Actually, like having these exercises instead of going out for a drink. Even if you do want to grab a beer too, actually sit around the table and do an exercise like this. Which leads me to be thinking, is it ego? Why aren't men pulling other men up? Why are we so quick to drag another man down instead of pulling them up?
I mean, I think I wouldn't even necessarily that men intentionally try to drag another man down. I think naturally it's like this king mentality to where it's like, yo, I gotta be the one and you gotta be the secondary. Right? So like I don't want you coming over on my side, and I don't need you. I'm not coming over to your side. So we ain't going to help each other. You mind your business, I mind mine. So I don't even necessarily think it's intentional. I just think that it's something that's like ingrained inside of us to where men most times are territorial, not realizing that if us men work together, right? Like we can still here's the craziest thing. We can still as men have our own territories and trade with each other.
That's good.
Right? Like when you look at different countries right now, they still are different countries, but they have trade. They trade resources. Like I give you this and you give me that in turn. We still got our own countries. We still respect each other. We still got our own borders, but I'm gonna trade with you because you my man and we cool. We friendly. I think as men, we got to realize that by you trading with somebody else for equal benefit in return, that's not going to take anything away from your territory that you got right now. That ain't going to take away from your light. You feel me? Collaboration ain't going to take nothing away from me. That's why I create videos like this to begin with. Because although me being an introvert and I hate talking a lot of times, I create videos like these because I feel like I gotta give to my brothers and say, yo, look, here's what I learned. Here's the mistakes that I made, and I want you to learn from this. That's my trade to you. Right? It's my trade to you. And then in turn, you show support back. But we just gotta start setting examples, and I'm starting to see it more and more. You feel me? So I wouldn't even, to be honest, I wouldn't even go as far as say that men aren't doing it. I think it's just, I personally believe that it's more good than bad out here. The good is just not being publicized enough. I'm a believer of that. Like, you got to remember, it's a lot of propaganda that goes on in the media right now that's trying to prevent us from really seeing all the positivity that's happened. All the men that are collaborating with each other. It's a lot of men out here that are. So we can't get caught up in that rat wheel where we think it ain't going on. It is going on. It's just not being seen enough. So us as larger platforms, we got to start showing it more and more, because we can't expect for the media to do it, because it's their job to put bad stuff on there, because that's how they get paid. But I think that it is happening, and I'm happy to see it. So
Got you. Another question I wanted to ask you was getting into criticism when it comes to men. How men are supposed to handle criticism and how they're supposed to respond to criticism. Can you actually touch on that real quick?
how a man is supposed to handle criticism and respond with criticism?
Well,
Respond.
respond to criticism.
Okay, so how a man is supposed to handle criticism and respond to criticism? Well,
Correct.
I
Like
think
I remember there was a my bad, I didn't mean to cut you, but there was a saying that Nipsey Hussle said that we need to start paying attention to how we react to disrespect. So not necessarily the disrespect as far as the criticism, but how we react into that situation when we may feel attacked, or if you take it as constructive criticism.
Well, I think when it comes down to criticism as men, number one, again, I talk about logic a lot. You got to be logical as a man. First and foremost, I always look at the root of where the criticism is coming from, because the root ultimately tells me what type of flower that it is. You feel me? So when I look at the root, I can clearly tell if it's somebody that's coming from a level of hate to try to bring me down, bring my kingdom down, or is it coming from love of somebody that's really trying to help me because they see me doing wrong? But again, you got to know how to examine the root to be able to find that out. Now, if the root is coming from hate, then again, I'm a believer that I don't respond with hate, because I don't respond to goofiness, because that gives goofiness more light. You feel me? And I'm not into giving that any exposure in no way, shape, or form. So I let the goofiness go. I give it the Heisman stiff arm. You feel me? That's not for me. It is what it is. I'm gonna let that thing go. Because again, I don't got nothing to prove. I ain't got nothing to prove to nobody. I'm not trying to fight nobody. Look, to be honest, I got too much going on in my life to be trying to fight somebody. Like I think that's just young boy mentality. Like, I'm not doing that. Now, don't get me wrong. I'm gonna defend myself, but I'm not fighting nobody and getting into no battle with somebody that don't matter. And obviously, all they trying to do is just bring me down. So if it's coming from criticism and hate, I'm stiff arming it. Boy, I'm not even giving you none of my time. Now, if the criticism is coming from love, if the criticism is coming from somebody that shows nothing but respect and honor and integrity, because again, what I said manhood is respect, honor, integrity, and love. If it's coming from a man that I know possesses those qualities, then if he's giving me some level of criticism, I'm gonna sit back and I'm gonna shut up. I'm gonna listen. Because I've learned that, like, yo, it's so much information out here that you just don't know. And you a dummy if you a dude that's out here thinking you know everything, thinking that you doing everything the right way. That's impossible. Nobody does things the right way. Everybody's doing something wrong. Everything could be done better. And I think the reason why I'm at the place that I'm in right now is because I'm an open book. Yo, you could tell me one thing and I'm like, yo, you right. Yo, tell me that again. You right. Like I'm heavily open to criticism. Even that situation where I talked about all the time where like my wife was telling me that the way that I was shooting content was wrong. Look, let me just get on another topic right here. Get another topic. I think that as men, we have to audit how we receive criticism from women. Because I think many times when a woman try to criticize us or try to give us some level of advice, we don't respect it because she's a woman. She's supposed to stay in her place. That ain't for you to talk about right now, sweetheart. We good. What do you know about this? And I
Or
had
we feel
to,
attacked.
or we feel attacked. You're right. We feel attacked because she coming at it saying something, and we think that she's trying to stain our manhood, and she might be actually trying to assist us in growth. It's something that I had to deal with. Something that I had to get through. Like I remember that scenario where me and you was sitting down and we was shooting content, and my wife was sitting across the room. And as we shooting content, she screamed over and said, "Yo, Don, the content sucks. You're not doing it the right way." I immediately was like, "Oh, what? Yo, mind your business. You're not even over here. Why are you over here minding us?" And lastly, my videos get millions of views, so I don't know what you're talking about, right? But of course, that was what I was thinking. But then I had to ask myself, well, if it was a man who said the same thing to me, another man that was successful, right? That was successfully made good content, that successfully was able to create an audience. If he said that to me, how would my reaction have been then? And if a brother would have said that to me, like, "Yo, Don, that content sucked, bro. I ain't gonna hold you," I probably would be like, "Yo, well, tell me why you think it sucked." I would have been more open and receptive. And that's when I had to sit back and say, "Yo, is the only reason why I'm not accepting my wife's advice and information is because she's a woman? And if that's the case, man, I'm on the wrong side of the. I'm not playing fair." Because more importantly, we both can agree that you probably wouldn't want somebody treating your daughter like that. And also, I wouldn't want nobody treat my mom, my sister, or my grandmom like that, or any women that's in my life being treated as if their opinions don't matter simply because they're a woman. When they have a lot to offer, a lot to give. And we all know that when you give a woman a seed, she multiplies it. So like, why don't we give that same level of respect? So I had to sit back there one day and I say, damn, and the reason why I'm not accepting her information is because she's a woman. I'm like, dog, that ain't cool. I'm the same as those dudes that's racist, that's out here hateful individuals. I'm just showing it in a different way. It's low key inside of me. So then I had to really sit back and say, yo, all right, yo, you know what? I'm willing to accept. That was the moment where I'm like, yo, I'm willing to start accepting information from my wife because I could never be that individual that displays that type of energy to her. Not to mention, with my wife being a strong woman at the same time, and I see other women out here that are really strong and courageous and smart and intelligent. Yo, a lot of times, man, like the world be afraid of that. The world is really afraid of that. So I try to like really like not give that kind of energy. I try to not give that kind of energy toward my wife or any woman that's around me. And I really listen to what they got to say, the same way that I would listen to another man. And I also, I help build them up too at the same time and say, yo, look, that's the type of energy you need to have in this world. Cause I'm gonna surely do that same thing with my daughter, so I got to treat other women the same way.
All right, so the next topic I want to actually touch on was chivalry. That famous saying that chivalry isn't dead, but it's hard to see nowadays. Some of the most viral content that we actually see on Instagram and Facebook is actually displays of chivalry. Like people never seen it before. You know what I mean? So it goes viral real quickly. So how can a man show his woman outwardly that he really genuinely cares about her? Like, what do you do? Is there some examples that you can give because you're a busy man, or anybody else can do that? Some little hints or some advice you can kind of give people to show that they outwardly care about their woman.
Well, I think the easiest way to show that you outwardly care about your woman is through verbal affirmations, right? Like one of the things I do on a daily basis is I speak life over my wife. It sound corny, but like I really speak life over her. Like I might walk up to her one day and say, "Yo, like, yo, honey, yo, you know you the smartest woman I ever met." Like, damn, yo, you the goat for that, yo. I didn't even think about that. Damn, yo, you smart, yo. Keep doing what you doing. Like, damn, honey, your body is like, yo, the way you working out right now and really getting your body right, yo, I see you working hard. There's not a lot of men that can even keep up with that, right? Like, yo, honey, keep working hard, man. I see what you're doing. That interview that you did was phenomenal. You one of the best speakers I've ever heard. I That first way of me showing chivalry is to be my wife's biggest supporter as a man too, right? Be her biggest supporter and to speak verbal affirmations over her life to build her up. You feel me? Because I think that's one and most important. Me ensuring that my wife's confidence is always at its high at its peak. It's always at its peak. Because we all know with our women, they like to really overanalyze themselves. They'll look at a picture of themselves and say, "Oh my God, I look so ugly." Like my wife do that all the time, and like so like I understand like how women think when it comes to like looking at themselves, and I got to make sure that I'm overly verbalizing that, yo, she's perfect the way that she is. You feel me? And if it's areas that I feel like she needs work on, I'm going to verbalize and affirm that she's going to be better in those areas. So that's the first way of me showing chivalry. Like, yo, verbal affirmations, yo, speak life into your lady. And secondly, man, one of the things I just did the other day, I was inside of the market. My wife was sitting in the car. I go into the market right quick, and I'm going to. I was supposed to just be getting some water because we ran out all that water because we sitting in the crib and everything like that. So I go ahead and grab some water. As I'm going through, I see that it was flowers that was sitting right there. So I went ahead and picked them joints up and paid for them. Flowers was like $5-6, but I walked back to the car, my flowers in my hand, and I got in the car, and she was like, "Damn, you got me some flowers," and I said, "Nah, these for my side chick." And she started laughing. She started laughing, but like it's just the small things. Like, yo, don't be afraid. Don't be afraid to like, yo, surprise her, man. Like, and one of the things I do as well is I literally just did this, and hopefully my wife not gonna be watching this video, but one of the things I did too was I just was online and I found this all the brothers, you really use this because your wife, your girl gonna like this. I found this puzzle, right? Like you do like those 1,000-piece puzzles. I
Mm-hmm.
actually found a company that was going to allow me to upload a picture of us from our wedding day, and they turned it into like a 1,000-piece puzzle. But we gonna get it in the mail, and I know that she want to do puzzles. We want to do like some brain games. So I'm just like, yo, I found this puzzle. We about to put it together. It's real dope, and I'm not even gonna tell her. But as we putting it together, she gonna realize, oh snap, that's our wedding photo. And that right there is just gonna make her really happy, it's gonna make her smile. Like, damn, like, yo, you was really thinking about us at that moment. Like, I think chivalry just comes down to like, yo, what's the like your thought process, like the energy that you have. I'm constantly just finding the ways of thinking about my wife to make sure that she, that she's happy, she feels confident, and ultimately, like my philosophy is, my wife is happy and confident, trust and believe me, I'm gonna be a happy man. I'm gonna be a happy man in return. Um, so yeah, that's how I look at it, man. Like verbal affirmations, finding different ways to just mix it up, and be romantic, bro. There ain't nothing wrong with that. A lot of dudes look. Some dudes look at it and say, "Yo, yeah, don't be romantic, man. That ain't cool." Yo, man, listen. If you got a lady that you love and you care about, man, be romantic, yo. Straight up. You only got one life to live, and I'm not living no life trying to be hard. You feel me? I ain't living life trying to be hard, trying to be this. Like, I'm not trying to be gang. I'm not being gangster. Like, yo, I'm trying to be romantic to my lady that I love and I care about. I want her to be happy. I want her to be walking down the street with a smile on her face, and people like, damn, yo, that brother must be, yo, he must be treating her right. Absolutely, absolutely. That says a lot about you as a man. Yeah, I'm treating her right. Facts. And look the other way. You feel me? Like that's how it should be. And that's what we should aspire to do as men. And like, yo, women are like, yo, I wouldn't say fragile, but like, yo, we gotta protect our women. You feel me? Like from this world, from these treacherous people out here. We gotta protect our women. We gotta protect our moms, our grandmoms, our daughters. You know what I'm saying? It's our responsibility to do that as leaders. You know, as warriors. You know, make sure they happy, man. They birthed you into this world. You feel me? So that's what we could give in return, man. Like, yo, I'm always on that type time.
What do you think is the most attractive characteristic that a man has that he can actually feed off into a woman?
Great question. I think the most attractive characteristic that a man has that he can give to a woman is confidence. 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 I think I wouldn't necessarily say for all women, but like I said again in the previous when we just had this previous conversation, is that I feel like there are women who really overanalyze themselves, overanalyze their bodies, they overanalyze like themselves in photos. They look at themselves a certain way, and again we got to analyze the root. The reason why is because the world overanalyzes women. We over sexualize women. We overanalyze women, right? Like all we down to the point where when we walking through Target, and I said this to my wife before, we walking through Target and all I see is skinny models, but the average woman is not skinny. The average woman don't weigh 90 pounds like the models that we see on Victoria's Secret or that we see on the on the posters and the images, but women got to see that every single day and they got to look themselves in the mirror and say, damn, I'm not that, but that's all that they see. So that can ruin a person's confidence subconsciously.
Mm-hmm.
Right. So as men, we don't get much of that. We don't really get much of that. You feel me? So me, I'm always affirming to my wife and pushing confidence into her, telling her that she is great, telling her that she is beautiful, that she is totally fine the way that she is. And if she wants to get better, I can help her get better. There was a certain and I remember this like it was yesterday. I remember there was this one day, probably about a year ago. Me and my wife were sitting inside of our bathroom and she was looking at herself in the mirror and she was like, yo, I gained a lot of weight. She was like, I don't feel like myself. I feel like I gained mad weight. I feel like I lost myself. Like I can't fit these jeans. I can't fit these clothes. I don't know what I'm doing. And she was literally crying in the bathroom. Like she didn't feel confident. And then of course she looks at me and I'm somebody that's sitting with a six. I got an 8-pack, nice and you know what I'm saying. I got a nice cut. And she like, damn, but you just was born that way. Like this is just crazy to me. Like how I look like this, and you was like, so it was just like her confidence was shot. And at that moment, it was like two things that I could do here. The first thing I could do was I could lie to her and I could say, yo, honey, you great the way that you are. Which I wouldn't necessarily say that was a lie because if she don't feel good about it, I'm not going to sit here and tell her that she's good the way she is. She obviously just said that she wasn't. Or I could take option number two and I can push confidence into her. And the confidence is, hey, if you don't like the way that you are, let's change that then today. You don't like the way you are, let's change it today. Let's change your eating habits today. And let's change your workout habits today. And I promise you, Van, yo, she fought me on this so many times. When I tell you I had to drag my wife to the gym, I had to drag her to the gym. I'm not making this up. She hated the gym. She hated running, everything. And I was somebody that worked out. I was active because, of course, I ran track for a long time. I played football, basketball. I did everything. So I'm an active person. She hated the gym. She hated working out, everything. But she wanted to lose weight. And I just kept saying to her, yo, you're crazy. I said, there's no way that you're able to just you can't just not eat and expect to lose weight, sweetheart. That's not going to happen. I need to get you, we got to get you to the gym right away. So I had to step up and I had to lead that conversation. I had to lead it and say, yo, look, I don't want to hear this from you again because that's not making me feel good knowing that you don't feel good. So look, here's what we're about to do. I'm going to get gym memberships right now. We literally went to the gym. I paid for the memberships and say, yo, let's go. We're going to the gym starting tomorrow. And ever since that day, we started going to the gym. And she was with me. We started doing workouts. We started looking on Instagram for all the workout influencers. She started finding women that she saw on the gram that like fit her characteristics of the body that she wanted. So she started following their workout plans. And then we moved over and we started eating vegan for like, I think 6 months. And I'm like, yo, we going vegan. That's how you're going to lose some weight. Let's do it. We went vegan, changed up our whole diet, started eating fruits and vegetables. And we went through this journey together. Cause I said, yo, this is what we need to do. If you don't feel confident in yourself, I'm going to give you the confidence. We got to do it together, but you got to be willing to fight too. You got to fight for yourself. Right. But I'm with you on this. A year later, today, if you look at the woman that she is now, yo, half the time the workout she be doing, I'd be like, yo, you're crazy doing this workout. Yo, I don't know what type of workout that is. She almost made you pass out one time before.
Yeah,
She almost made
up.
you pass out one time before because she literally be going hard. Her body is different.
Yeah.
She feels confident. Now, my wife looks in the mirror and she says, yo, look at my abs. I remember that day she looked in the mirror and said, babe, look at my abs. I said, yo, I see them. You've been working. Yo, you worked hard. You did that.
Mm-hmm.
You did that. But as men, how can we expect? We can't just expect for our woman to just figure it out on her own. Again, as men, we are leaders. We have to lead the situation. If your wife openly, publicly said that she didn't like something, lead the situation and fix it. Lead the situation and say, we're going to do this together. I didn't wait for her to figure it out. I said, we're going to get a gym membership. We're going to go run. We're going to change our diet. And now she's a beast. She's a beast, bro. Now I don't really got to worry about her. My wife can do whatever she want, work out whatever she do. She go to the gym. She do her own thing now because that's her workouts and I got to do my own. But it was just a matter of sometimes, yo, as men, we got to be strong enough to give our wife that push. Just give her that jump start that she needs to say, yo, boom. And sometimes that jump start is you holding her hand and going with her through the process until she get there. I'm like, yo, I'm in it. And in the same instance, your wife should do the same thing for you in that time where you need it. Because there's going to be times where you, bro, you're going to need that too. Like, damn, I need a jump start. And your wife is going to be strong enough to be able to give that to you. But you can't expect to have a wife that's going to give you a jump start if she's not even confident enough to be able to in her abilities, or you weren't helping to nurture that confidence that she had to be able to say, yo, I'm gonna step up and my man need me and I'm on it. You feel me? So that's how I look at it, man. Like, yo, step up, get that confidence, bro, and make it happen. Like if she displays something, yo, let's get it done, fix it. And that's the type of boy that I am. And that's the type of person that she is too. But you know, it's gonna be times in our lives where we gonna need each other. And one of us gonna have to step up to make it happen.
That was great. That was it's crazy because now, as you telling that story, like I've seen the transformation, like being in the office, and now she's a personal trainer, like on Instagram. Like everybody keep trying to,
bro. She's a personal trainer now, yo. Like literally, people be like, yo, I can't even do that workout. I'm about to pass out. It'd be half the times where, and I'm fit. Like I could work. You feel me? And it's half the time I be doing workouts, and I'm like, yo, Dana, yo, that workout was kind of crazy. Like that joint was. That had me a little bit. I ain't gonna lie, and I'm impressed, man. But it was that year ago. It was that year ago when we was in that bathroom and everything changed. That's the moments that I live for in our marriage, in our relation. That's the moment you should live for as a man. That moment right there. Yo, damn, my wife need me. I'm about to let's go. Let's do it. Man, listen, she gonna respect you for life, bro. She gonna respect you for life.
Yeah. So my last and final question for you is, I'm very, very curious to hear your answer about this one. So what trait as you, Donnell Morris, one trait, if you could pass on to your son Which one would it be?
Damn, that's a great question. The one trait that I would pass on to my son is my wits. It's the what do I mean by that? Like, like when somebody is like they have certain wittiness about them. Like
Yeah,
I want my son to be somebody that's a great strategist, like somebody that doesn't just react too quickly, like somebody that like they can always count on and say, "Yo, if it's a problem that we got, you give him 24 hours, he gonna be able to find the exact plan, the exact getaway route, everything, the mastermind behind the situation." I feel like for me, God blessed me with like the ability to be like a mastermind behind things. I promise you, yo, and everybody around knows this is that, yo, you give me a problem or you give me something to say, yo, Don, I'm having an issue with this. If you give me 24 to 48 hours, I can promise you I can find a way out for you. You give me 24, 48 hours. Let me sit back. Let me do my research. Let me think. Let me find different ways. Let me look at history and see what did that man do before? What did that woman do before? What did that company do in the past? And I look at so many different things and I start thinking and ideas start coming to me. And then in 48 hours, I come back to you with a whole map and say, oh, yo, I found the way that we're gonna get around this. Watch. And give you the whole game plan, the solution. I want my son to possess that same quality. Because it's too many times where we can act out of emotion and we run into a trap. And I don't never want my son to run into traps that have been set for him. Like the enemy is trying to set to say, yo, he gonna catch this bait. When you somebody that have wits about you, to somebody that thinks, and it's just maybe because I'm an introvert. So hopefully my son is an introvert too. He can really sit back and he's a thinker. Like he sit back, like he ain't really with all the goofiness, the rah rah. He sit back and say, no, I'm to myself. I'm gonna think about it. It allows you to really start to see the BS for what it is. It's hard to see BS when you're going 100 miles an hour. But it's easy to see when you're going real slow, when you slow down the pace of the game. And that's what I aspire for my son to have, because I think that's a great quality to have for any man. To really just sit back. Like, when somebody brings something to you, when somebody's trying to ruffle your feathers, when somebody when you feel overwhelmed, don't go attack immediately. And that's one of the things that I've seen. Like I watch a lot of war movies. I feel like war movies, war movies and history really like tells you a lot about like the men that were leading armies and what are some of the things they did wrong. The ones that actually had successful armies, what did they do right? One of the things that every single leader of an army that failed did wrong was they allowed their enemy to make them emotional, and they fell back from the game plan that they originally set forth when they were about to go to war. So you could have had the upper hand, but your enemy needed to do something to make you forget about your upper hand so that you can come down to his level so he could fight you exactly where he wanted you. Right? So when you're smart enough, you can smell the BS, you can smell the trap and say, I see what you try to do. That ain't gonna work though. I like what you try to do there, but that ain't gonna work. I'm just too smart. I got too much wits about me that I can look at all the scenarios that you about to try to bring at me, and I'm not affected by it. I'm gonna still keep doing my path. I'm gonna still keep going how I roll, and I'm gonna take the high ground, and I'm gonna beat you because I'm gonna stay on the high ground because I know I got the winning game plan, right? So I want my son to possess that quality. Don't get caught up in none of that, bro. Don't get caught up in none of that. You feel me? Enemy bring a lot. The world try to bring a lot at you, especially when you winning. Everybody trying to come at you from all different angles. Don't do it. You know, really look and when you also got wits, you're able to build wise counsel around you too. Wise counsel of people that's like, oh no, that's cool, no, that's not good. Like you're able to build the right type of people, you know. So that's what I say, man. That's the characteristic that I got that I think has helped me so much in my 26 years. And I think I would hope that my son, when he's here one day, that he finally has the same thing. And I hope that he's listening to this one day and it says, damn, like, yo, I got that.
That's dope. That's dope. Well, we can wrap it up now. Ending the podcast, $1 Million Life Lessons, episode 59.
Absolutely, man. I appreciate all of y'all that's listening to this, collecting all these gems. Please apply this information to your life. Don't just listen to this information. Apply it. All of these are different things that I've learned, and you could take from it and really do some good and share the information. Again, screenshot this podcast if you haven't yet. Post it on your Insta story. You know, tell people about the good news. Share the podcast. I would love to be able to get more listeners, man, some more subscribers. So please put them on to this good information. And with that said, I appreciate y'all for being on. This is $1 Million Life Lessons. I'm Prince Donnell, the pastor of business. And you also rocking out here with my co-host, the man with the cam,
Brian Van Dam, aka the storyteller.
And this is episode 59 coming to an end. And we will see y'all later on episode 60.
Peace.
Jumping jacks, tax, got my taxes jumping. Now my bag coming with that major money. Dripping blessings, just might buy a house for my mama. Bad credit, don't even sweat it. Cause they'll repair it, ain't no question. They can do it, it's a major movement. We on in the zone right now.